Shalom, shalom. All praise to our power. I be Howard and Mashak Yahushai. To my brothers and sisters laboring this truth and truth and sincerity. It's the boy Zacharias coming at you with a real quick one. Just want to touch on some of the things that we see with Uganda getting gold and all these things being prophetically done, and just show you how biblically and basically secular history matches up with everything we're seeing right now. So I'm going to go into a prophecy that was mentioned in the days of Genesis, reiterated in the time of Paul, and you're going to see fulfillment of it now. Before I do that, I mention the Fair Use Act. This is the Fair Use Act of 1976. I don't own any of these videos. It's not for these are just for commentary purposes and not for financial gain at any time, at anywhere, at any cost. All right. So I'm going to jump into it with Genesis 15, going with the 400-year prophecy, because this is going to tie into what I'm speaking about. Right. Genesis 15 and 12, and it reads, "And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, and horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them for 400 years. Right? And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance." Now, this is something that you'll see a lot of people don't want to go into, because what happened in like around year 2000, or apparently the year 2000, because we don't know what year we're actually in, there was a split in One West, right? And a lot of people left the truth. I personally used to drive my mom to One West. I never really went there. I was young, but I was driving my mom to Harlem at that time. Now, that's not the fault of what was happening, because when you really go into it, the brother or the elder, I believe, he basically was going off of prophecy, but the times was wrong. And this is how we know the times was wrong, because changes of 1752, the Julian calendar was replaced by the Gregorian calendar, changing the formula for the calculation of leap years. The beginning of the legal new year was moved from March 25th to January 1st. Finally, 11 days were dropped from the month of September 1752. So now this brother was actually going into what was prophetic, but the time was wrong, because what? The Lord said they would think to change times and laws. They also did this and tell on themselves when you watch the sciencefocus.com. Because of the orientation of the tilt of their orbits, the 8 major planets of the solar system can never come in one perfect alignment. The last time they appeared, even in the same part of the sky, was over 1,000 years ago. Right? 1,000 years ago, in the year AD 949. So that's what, 1949, right? But they say, okay, over 1,000. So we like what, 1990, 1992, 1995? Who really knows? But we're not in the year 2022. That we do know based off the heavens. That's why the Lord made the sky and the moon and the table of the heavens to tell time, right? And they won't manage it again until the 6th of May. Whoever know what year that is, because we don't know what year we're in right now. My point of this is to show you that we don't know the time. So when you hear brothers don't want to touch this prophecy, is because they don't want to say, well, 1619 is 2019. Look, nothing happened. We still here, and yada, yada, yada. But that has nothing to do with the prophecy in nature, because we don't know what year we're in to the prophecy to be fulfilled. You just got to watch and pray, as the Lord said. Now, here's what Paul says, right? Acts 7 and 6. "And the Lord spake on this wise, that his seed should," this is future tense. The word should is a future tense word, "sojourn in the land, and they should bring them into bondage," just like the Lord said in Deuteronomy 28, 68 verse, "you shall go into bondage again," right? "And entreat them evil 400 years. Same thing Abraham said. "And the nation to whom they shall be in bondage will I judge, saith God, and after shall come forth and serve me in this place." Now, this place Paul was talking about was Jerusalem. We didn't have a Jerusalem back then in the days of Moses. It was the land of Canaan. We didn't take it over yet. So Paul is basically understanding this prophecy is future intent, and that they will come back. Right? That's what Paul said. They'll be falling away first, but then until the nation be revived again. Right? So it's showing you that this is talking about now. And now you're going to see some of the great substance happening to our people. Uganda announced the discovery of huge gold deposits. Right? Uganda gold experts have been on the rise since openly in Africa gold refinery in Eltaba. According to the official records, Uganda has announced that it has struck a deposit of 31 million tons of gold, with an expectable pure gold estimate to gross 320,000 tons. Right? Let's go down here. The state of the address Tuesday 7th, but provided little details pointing in the generation that will fetch the country more than $12 trillion. Good night. And let me tell you something. They're going to reevaluate gold. See, gold is like around $1,900 right now. With all this inflation, gold is going to go to $30,000, $40,000 a gram. Or ounce, I should say. Mark my words. So this 12 trillion, brothers, is going to be all the way $200-300 trillion in the years to come. Right? This is the great substance the Lord has given us back. We don't need nothing from them. We don't need a reparation. We don't need nothing. The Lord allowed this thing to be opened up now. Not 100 years ago, not 200 years ago when this place was being colonized, but now. Why now? Because it's coming down to the end of the 400 years. And he's trying to bless us. And to show you how these nations are Hebrews, Hollywood knows it because they put it in these movies. I'm going to show you a clip.
My name is Arthur Azuka. I'm the only son of President Samuel Azuka. Please don't blame them. Please. I'm sorry to have misled you, but there are enemies looking for me everywhere. And that is why you've been pursued.
The report said the entire presidential family was executed.
Your reports were incorrect. They were not executed. They murdered my father, along with my mother, and my 2 younger sisters. Out of greed. My father's fight for democracy, for his people. My people. When he first appeared, there might be trouble. My father sent me away with this man, Colonel Casey.
Lieutenant, his father was more than the president. He was the tribal king. That makes him the heir to the Igbo nation.
Hold up, brothers. Hear that one more time.
Lieutenant, his father was more than the president. He was the tribal king. That makes him the heir to the Igbo nation. It's a bloodline they must cut. The Fulanis will come heaven and earth to find him.
The last heir of the Hebrew king. This is in a movie, so they know what time it is. Now, let's get some secular history and close it out. Book right here, Babylon and Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor. I believe it's a brother who wrote this. It's the brother's face right there. We're going to go to page 90. And let's get some history here. The black Hebrew kings of Ghana had 2 titles, right? Kayamaga, Master of Gold, and Ghana, War Chief. Now, Ghana is a title of a Hebrew king, not a nation. Professor Godby says that the 22 Hebrew kings reigned in Ghana before the Hergera in 622 AD, and 44 had reigned by 790 AD. Davidson's make mention of the Turk El, which goes into a kind of Arabic word meaning chronologic era, date, or I think it's chronology. Basically, it just means chronicles, right? The chronicles of the kings, like it says in the book of Chronicles. Ghana were called by the title Kayamaga, present country of Mali, which means good in Hebrew, by the way. During the Middle Ages of the name Ghana was not used, designated to the country. The name of this country was called Akko or Ayoka, And Ghana was just the title of its kings having cognizance. Decline of the Zay dynasty, man, begin. So you could go into this, it breaks down the history of everything, but I just want to show you some of the history of the origins of the word Ghana, and it means war chief, and Kayamaga means master of gold. So when you see gold and all the stuff in these nations over there, they were masters of it and masters of war. Understand that thing. God, there it is, brothers. There it is, right? 400 years, great substance coming to fruition. We're coming on to the end. Wars, rumors of wars. Things are closing in real fast. We're going to be out of here soon enough, right? Right? So once the prophecies you're reading doesn't line up with Luke 21 and Matthew the 24th chapter, this is Christ speaking. This is in red. If you don't line the prophecies up with what Christ is saying, you're going to interpret them wrong. I'm telling you. You have to line up with Christ. It's like Christians take Paul and try to say, oh, this is what Christ is saying. Christ don't need no one to clarify what he's saying. Christ speaks very plainly in these 2 chapters. And this is the end time prophecy of what he's saying is going to happen, because he's going to be the one returning. Not Isaiah, not Ezekiel, not Esdras, Christ. So when we read Luke 21, Matthew 24, everything got to line up with that, right? So with that, brothers and sisters, I hope you got something out of it. See you boy next time. Shalom. Love y'all.